Welcome back. Today we've got another great topic. Alex, what we got?
Is working without a contract. I think in the hierarchy of bad habits, this one is probably the worst. Why do you think, Matt, this is the worst?
Honestly, if you're working without a contract, you're probably a little bit desperate or you're cutting corners to start with. Your whole mindset is probably not right.
Yeah.
But one of the key things is obviously you do not have candidate ownership. That's number one. You can introduce candidates, you do all the work, and at the end of the day, if then you can't agree terms, the client can hire those candidates without paying you a fee. And it's a very simple one. It's less common in the Japan market.
It still does happen.
But it happens, yeah, and it's getting more and more common actually. So that will be the biggest danger.
Ooh, those sneaky clients.
Some of them, yeah.
Sneaky clients. You send them CVs and they go behind your back and they hire them. Ooh.
Yep.
Again, legally, you're not protected basically, so you might end up putting a lot of work into like a search or multiple search as well, and then finishing with nothing basically in your hands, right? I think another big problem with actually working without a contract is the time wasting, that is involved in working with a client that is actually not serious in hiring at all, because if they don't have the minimal commitment on signing a contract to actually work with you, they're probably not going to be that interested to work with you in the first place.
If you do manage to introduce a great candidate, right, and you get to offer stage, and then you say, okay, now we need to sign a contract. Well, the client is in an unbelievably strong position at that point.
Yep.
Because you're saying, well, listen, our fees, whatever, 40%. And then the client says, well, honestly, no, I'll give you 30, 25, 30. Do you want a deal or not? And then you're in a position where
You gotta take it.
You've kind of got to take it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it puts you in an incredibly weak position to negotiate. So you lose at the beginning because there's the uncertainty and you never know how this is going to pan out, and maybe the client might even approach your candidate directly, and you lose at the end because you are going to have to take a lower fee.
Yeah, and I think the negotiation is not only based on the fee, right? It could be the payment terms, So the client might agree on paying you, 30, 40%, whatever it is, but he might say, hey, listen, I'm paying you in, 6 months with 100% refund. And unfortunately, after you sign that contract, it's not only yourself that you're stuck with a bad contract, it's the whole company is stuck, with that bad contract. So they have to pay the price for a bad habit.
Yep, so don't be tempted. Always sign the contract first before you send any CVs. In what situation would anybody work without a contract?
I think the first one is just desperation, really. You have no clients, or you're just not strong enough or aggressive enough to impose your will on the client, So you get basically bullied by the client, especially very big clients, like the household names like Google or Amazon, like your household name, they have all the negotiation power in the world. They will say, hey, listen, if you want to work with me, these are the conditions, send me a certain amount of candidates. If you make a placement, then I'll sign the contract, and you're not strong enough to negotiate with those guys.
With this idea of prove yourself before we sign a contract, you sign the contract and then you prove yourself. That's how you do it.